Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, kings and queens of the land. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, the royals, the loyal members of the channel. We call them the royals. This is the royal opinion. My name is Mkhweba. This is the most forensic podcast in the internet. Is the most forensic podcast in the internet. My name is Mkhweba. This is the royal opinion. Today on our subject, the last call. Thank you for joining. Saying good afternoon there. Good afternoon, the last call. Good afternoon there. Thank you very much for joining. It's still the two of us. Today our subject, we're talking about why, the reason why Busisiwe Mkhwebane should join or will join the MK party. We've got so many, I've got so many serious reasons that would cause Busisiwe Mkhwebane to join the MK party that I have actually investigated. But before we go into why should Busisiwe Mkhwebane join the MK party, let's talk about a little bit about Busisiwe Mkhwebane. Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, was a former public protector who was appointed after Thuli Madonsela to succeed Thuli Madonsela as public protector of South Africa. Busisiwe Mkhwebane, in her job, she performed better than any public protector that has ever been in South Africa since the advent of democracy. She was impeached by Parliament because they said she did not know the law. But I want us first to look at the issues. What caused Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, what caused her to find herself in so much trouble and people saying that doesn't know any law. I want us to have a look at that issue. But former public protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane was impeached by Parliament and went on to join a political party called the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters. She recently announced that she's going to resign from the EFF. Let's say she's actually resigned from the EFF. Now, I say she has to join the MK party, or she will join the MK party. And I've got reasons why she should join the MK party, and it's what we will be talking about today. But before I dive deep into the reason why Busisiwe Mkhwebane should join the MK party, let's look at the beginning of her troubles. Immediately she was appointed. One of her very first reports what cost Busisiwe Mkhwebane's career. Let's listen in.
Story tonight, a standoff looms between the public protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane and Absa Bank. Mkhwebane released a report today that found that the bank benefited improperly from a low-interest loan given by the Reserve Bank in the 1980s to Bangkok.
That bank was eventually acquired by Absa. The public protector's remedial action is that the Special Investigating Unit should recover 1.1 billion rand, but Absa is considering challenging the report in the High Court.
To the Special Investigating Unit, the Public Protector is referring this matter in terms of Section 64C2 of the Public Protector Act to reopen and amend Proclamation R47 of 1998, published in the Government Gazette in 1998, in order to recover misappropriated public funds unlawfully given to Absa in the amount of 1.125 billion.
And this is how the ball starts to roll, essentially contradicting the findings of a nearly 2-decade-old commission of inquiry. Judge Dennis Davis found that Absa cannot be regarded as a beneficiary of the lifeboat when it acquired Bangkok. Although aspects of the contract were found to be unlawful, Davis concluded it would not be possible for the Reserve Bank to recover any loss. The findings were endorsed by the then Reserve Bank Governor Tito Mboweni and Finance Minister Trevor Manuel.
This is where it started. Mr. Shongwe, thank you very much for your message and thank you very much for that advice to look at the case. I'm actually investigating that case. I'm looking at that case very closely. We will talk about it. I'll come live about it. I'm working on the case. It's just that there's a lot of information that one has to check and go through. Mr. Shongwa, I'm working on that one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your alert. This is where it started. Busisiwe Mkhwebane, this is where she created, this is where her trouble started. Finding by the public protector that Absa should pay back the money which it took from government, about it's about between 1.1 and 5 billion rands that Absa have taken during the apartheid government, like during the time when there was a transition from apartheid to New South Africa in 1994. Absa looted money from the state. It took money from the state. It stole money from the state. So the public protector, finding that Absa should actually pay back the money, because it was a corrupt, it was through corrupt act that Absa have been given this money by the South African government. She said the conduct of South African government was questionable in this case. Today, we've got a funeral of Mr. Tito Mboweni. Mr. Tito Mboweni is one of the people who have ratified that Absa should not pay back the money it took from government before apartheid. He's one of the people, he's one of the white stooges. That's why I was appointed Minister of Finance. He's one of those people who protected white people in South Africa. History must be correctly stated, irrespective of whether somebody has passed on or still alive, has left the body or still in the body. Tito Mboweni has left the body, but we should say his contribution, this is what we are talking about, his contribution to black people was Absa should not pay back the money. He ratified that decision by Judge Davis. So this is where the problems of Busisiwe Mkhwebane started.
Conduct of the South African government and the Reserve Bank constitute improper conduct as envisaged in the Constitution and the Public Protector Act.
But the 1.1 billion rand won't be recovered anytime soon. ABSA says in a statement it will consider all its legal options, including a High Court review. And an interesting move, Mkhwebane's remedial action includes amending the Constitution.
The provisions of the Reserve Bank in the Constitution should be such that it will also make sure that they take into consideration the economic growth and the needs of the South African citizens. So it has nothing to do with being the issue.
Mkhwebane is saying scrap the constitution, just like what the MK is saying. Mkhwebane is saying scrap the constitution, remove the laws from the South African Reserve Bank that protect white people and make it impossible for black people to benefit from the Reserve Bank, remove and put laws that will be for people. That's where a problem started. Scrap the constitution. Busisiwe Mkhwebane campaigned just like exactly just like Judge Hlophe. Busisiwe Mkhwebane said, scrap the constitution to allow South Africans and black people to benefit from the Reserve Bank. That's what she campaigned for. And she said ABSA should pay back the money. That's where she started to protect black people. And that's where they realized that this woman is genuine about her protection of black people. That's where they started this campaign to remove Busisiwe Mkhwebane as the public protector of South Africa. Busisiwe Mkhwebane provoked ABSA, our colonial masters. ABSA is a bank which is controlled by the British monarch. It sells land on behalf of the Queen. Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane said, because ABSA stole the money before freedom, it should pay back the money to the South African treasury. Between 1.1 billion, they were supposed to pay between 1.1 billion and 5 billion. That's why they started to say Busisiwe Mkhwebane does not know the law. Shongwe saying the constitution was crafted to perpetuate enslavement of Africans. Unfortunately, we thought it was a favor. It's the same as the borders representing a permanent victory of Berlin Conference. Exactly, like this is a permanent victory of the Berlin Conference in 1885. A conference happened in Berlin in 1885 where they divided Africa into parts so that Europe can share it among itself as their colonial, our colonial handlers. Since 1885, when they started dividing Africa, even today, families were divided, families were torn apart. Others were told they were in a different country. Others were told they're in a different country. They won't be able to see their relatives anymore. It was just chaotic at that time. It was chaotic. Now, talking about the issue of Busisiwe Mkhwebane, why should Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane join the MK party? Why is that the best move? So we're still talking about the start of a problems. Where did the problem started? The problem started when she found that ABSA, it's not Pala Pala. The problems did not start with the 31 questions that she sends to Pala Pala. This 31 questions were the, the last nail on the coffin. Uh, Afternoon, brother. Mina, I think if she joins MK, she's going to the JSC. Exactly, she's going to the that is what I'm suggesting. That is my suggestion actually. And I'm discussing, that's what we are discussing. Busisiwe Mkhwebane will join the MK party and is the one who is going to be sent to the JSC by the MK party. The reason that Busisiwe Mkhwebane should be sent to the to the JSC is because first she wants to scrap the constitution. She's got the same attitude as George Hlophe. She wants she wrote a report to tell ABSA to pay 1.1 billion. She's not afraid to tell truth to power. She's the first black woman to be persecuted by the apartheid and the colonial South Africa. She's the first black woman to be persecuted and be chased after. And she's the first black woman to point out the giants like ABSA and tell them to pay back the money. History should record that Busisiwe Mkhwebane was braver than the men who came before her, who were afraid. Because this case of ABSA has been standing since Lawrence Mushwana, the first public protector. Busisiwe Mkhwebane came in and dealt with the issue and without fear and favor, saying that ABSA should pay back between 1.1 billion to about 5 billion rands, which they criminally took from South Africa during the transition, during the 1994 transition.
Of taking a certain side or being politically motivated.
Socio-economic, a recent buzzword at political platforms, doesn't feature at all in the constitution, while Mkhwebane's remedial action would mean the Reserve Bank must consult Parliament instead of the Minister of Finance.
So Mkhwebane said ABSA should pay back the money. One of her first jobs and when she started her travels. One of her very best reports in South Africa, suggesting that there are laws in the Reserve Bank that prevent the Reserve Bank from benefiting everybody in South Africa. She said the Reserve Bank or the Parliament should scrap the laws which should scrap and remove the laws which are against the South African public, which are not benefiting to the South African public. So first, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane wants the Parliament to scrap the Constitution, the same attitude as the MK. The MK party wants the Constitution to be changed. The attitude of Judge John Hlophe is the Africanization of the judiciary. Scrap the constitution and prioritize parliamentary supremacy. So secondly, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, because she provoked big people in the planet, people who control the planet, people who control this planet, the banks. Everybody is afraid of the banks in the world, but Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane making a judgment against them without fear or favor. So she provoked the big people in the world, the bigger people who runs the world. So because she provoked these bigger people who had to remove her as public protector, they even made sure that she does not even get a pension fund. The recent judgment from the Constitutional Court says she is not entitled to a pension fund. 11 million pension fund which was taken from her because of standing tall against giants like ABSA, public protector Mkhwebane. So because she's provoked these people, she needs to be protected by black people. And the only black people who are the only grouping of black people who can protect Busisiwe Mkhwebane, because this is not a small issue. Her husband will not be able to protect her alone. Busisiwe Mkhwebane need protection from South African men, brave South African men. Busisiwe Mkhwebane need protection from the warrior population of the black men. So the MK party is a gathering of black men whom are willing to actually fight the system on behalf of black people. So Mkhwebane should join the MK party, because that is the only place where there's a grouping of men, of black men who can protect a black woman, like for real. She was not safe in the EFF. She needs protection of black people. The government has taken, the white people have stripped her of everything. She cannot even go on business. She cannot be appointed in any significant position because of taking up ABSA and big people. So she has been sabotaged. She does not have anywhere to go. She does not have money. She does not have a job. The only place where she can find protection is with the MK party. That's why the grouping of black men, that's where the grouping of black men who are ready to protect their woman are. So Busisiwe Mkhwebane should realize that she needs protection from such kind of groupings, because she's taken the almighty ABSA. She must find protection from black people. So when she resigns from the EFF, because she has to resign from the EFF, Busisiwe Mkhwebane is not a sellout. Busisiwe Mkhwebane is a genuine leader of the people. So EFF is a sellout organization. So she has to move out of the EFF because she's not there for the salary. She wants true liberation of black people. If she was there for the salary, she would just keep quiet and follow the command of the commander in chief. But no, she wants the real freedom for black people. The only place where she can thrive is with the MK party. She has to join the MK party uh, in order to further her passion and her love for black people. She has to join the MK party. And she has to join the MK party because the MK party needs her. At the moment, Judge John Lopez resigned from the JSC, and that position is vacant. The person who is required for such a job is somebody who has once confronted whom this system has once abused them. If you want to put somebody in that position, the best person to put is somebody whom the system has already abused, so that she will know what is needed to be done. So the MK party needs Busisiwe Mkhwebane for her skills and for her attitude to scrap the constitution and for her fearlessness to take the almighty ABSA. History should be recorded correctly. Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane was impeached in South Africa for saying that ABSA should pay back the money. ABSA took on Advocate Mkhwebane to remove her from a position, to impeach her, and not to allow her to have a pension because she said ABSA should pay back between 1.1 to 5 billion, which they took in corruption. Tito Mboweni ratified that amount. Tito Mboweni is being buried today. May his soul rest in peace. But his contribution, we know it was negative for black people. We have to say the truth, and history has to be recorded correctly. Busisiwe Mkhwebane stands for black people. Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, knows the law. And she's one of the bravest black women to exist in the 21st century. Because very few black women who are so brave who exist in this century. Many men have sold out, cowards have sold out. The black woman is now vulnerable, has got nowhere to run to because her man is sold out. But people like Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane are still brave enough to take on giants and put them down and tell them exactly where they are wrong and tell them how to ratify their wrong and make it right. She told the ABSA to pay back the money, and she told the Reserve Bank to repeal the laws which are oppressing black people, to repeal the laws which are not allowing black people to be included in the constitution. That was a crime. That's what Busisiwe Mkhwebane did for her to get impeached. Just like Judge Hlophe being persecuted, just like President Zuma being persecuted for being genuine, uh, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane is being persecuted for being genuine for black people, for being genuine in her love for black people, and for being genuine in her assessment uh, of the wrong of the mighty. Click the like button and subscribe. Give us your view. My name is Mngoni Mkhonto. You are in the royal opinion. Today we're talking about why Busisiwe Mkhwebane should join the MK party to go to the JSC. Why should she be sent to the JSC? First, she has been impeached. She has been in trouble with white people. She's been impeached. So white people don't like her. So because white people don't like her, Helen Zille does not like her. Those are the people that we should send to the JSC. Because Helen Zille has successfully removed Judge John Hlophe, we need somebody who is as brave and as knowledgeable as Busisiwe Mkhwebane to go and represent the people in the JSC. A bravery to confront the mighty is needed there. A skills and a knowledge of law is needed to contribute there. At the moment, the MK party is not represented by anyone. This GNU will continue to use the JSC without the MK party. So the MK party should, as soon as possible, replace Judge John Hlophe by Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. Highly knowledgeable, rational without fear or favor, not afraid of the mighty, is Busisiwe Mkhwebane. Those are the people that we want to go and represent the MK party in parliament and also in the JSC. Those are the reason why Mkhwebane was impeached. Let me share this interview where she broke the news that she was leaving the EFF, but she never said she was going to where she was going to. She only said she wished she could go to a human rights organization where her skills will be better utilized, because she was feeling in the EFF like it's suffocating there. She was not better utilized because what she wants is to contribute. So if the contribution is limited by politics, she does not really understand. She does not really understand. So Busisiwe Mkhwebane should join the MK party because she does not have a job and she will not be able to find any job in South Africa and outside South Africa. And she won't be able to practice as advocate or go to court. She won't be able to do that because they will sabotage her. She will not. If you go to court with Busisiwe Mkhwebane, you will not win a single case because the system will want to sabotage anyone who pays her for her skills. So MK Party should appoint Busisiwe Mkhwebane to the JSC and to Parliament for her to be able to have an income, because in the system she's blacklisted, she will not be able to get the income. So she need protection from black people like the MK Party. The MK Party should protect Busisiwe Mkhwebane, should pay Busisiwe Mkhwebane, send her, use her skills, and uh, uh, give her an opportunity to work and get paid in South Africa, because that will not happen at the moment. She is blacklisted. She will not be able to do anything anywhere which can give her money unless if she opens a spaza shop. So let me share this interview where she broke the news. And you know what she did here, like it's so brilliant, because she went to a small black media station to break the news that she's leaving the EFF. She did not call a press conference where she called the SABC and all those people. No, the SABC got the news from Sizwe Mpofu that Busisiwe Mkhwebane is leaving the EFF, breaking the news, doing that intentionally in order to move away from the propaganda media to raise a new breed of people, black reporters who are going to report fairly and support them to rise. She does that strategically to support Sizwe Mpofu's channel. So this woman is a very brave woman, and this woman should be celebrated by black people for her work, and the MK party should take her in to protect her from the queen, because the queen is going to make her suffer. You know, when you go against the queen, you become hungry. That's why they say it's cold outside the ANC, because when you rise against the queen, you become hungry. They sabotage you in every way they can. Give us your opinion. Click the like button. Subscribe to the Royal Opinion. Today we're talking about the reason why join the EFF. I mean, should join the MK party. She is from the EFF. She's resigning from the EFF. She was a member of parliament sent by the EFF. She's resigning. I say she's going to be a member of parliament sent by the MK party to replace uh, Judge President Hlophe, because she's got the same attitude as him in terms of what is required in the South African Constitution. Judge Hlophe saying in response of the GNU celebrations that we saw, shocking GNU celebrations. I mean, I think they are celebrating the unity which does not even exist. They are celebrating being together, but they were not together during the celebration. They were not together during the celebration. They were celebrating being together. But during the celebration, the DA was not there. During the celebration, the IFP was not there. But the celebration was the celebration of their unity. Celebrating unity, which does not exist, is Ramaphosa. Panyaza Sophie talking about that he removed the DA in Ekurhuleni, he removed the DA in Tshwane, and he also removed the DA in Johannesburg. Because the DA think they have a right to govern over black people. So Panyaza Sophie saying in those celebration of unity, saying that he's removed his partners from power in the local municipalities because they feel like they have a right to govern. Yeah, while they were celebrating their unity with the DA. Very funny. Some other things happened. So I wanted to share this video that put Busisiwe Mkhwebane back into the spotlight.
With the president, I meet with the presidency, the legal advisor of the presidency, late Boni, to discuss, because when they were responding, they said you can't have, because in Madonsela's draft, there was still a commission. And by then, the Nkandla report was before the court, not the Nkandla, the state of capture. Remember, the recommendation was a commission. And they were saying you can't make the same recommendation because it was like giving them an opportunity to
Listen, the advocate, this one, Madonsela. Advocate Madonsela's report was state of capture report. Why was it framed like that? State of capture report, meaning she was investigating the state at which the capture has happened. It was not a state capture investigation. It was a state of capture investigation. That's how Madonsela framed it. This is very important because, they use this language intentionally because it cements into the people's head that the state has already been captured. The only thing left is for this lady to only find out to what extent the dog of the white people in South Africa, one of those dogs of white people.
comment on the provisional report. That was sent to them. That was sent to National Treasury. And they responded, and even Reserve Bank. So presidency responded and they asked for a meeting. Remember, I was blamed why I didn't meet with all the parties. I'm saying, but this one's requested a meeting. You provided your responses in writing. I remember National Treasury responses were, a lot of them were incorporated because they were saying you can't recommend the amendment of the Reserve Bank Act because already is amended as the banker of last resort and all those to put on measures not to repeat the same thing of that illegal gift. So I said I never met with the president, though the court then said I met with the president. Then I was also punished that I met with SSA. I'm saying, how do I not meet with the SSA? Because the contract was signed by the then state secret service, the intelligence of South Africa with the intelligence of UK, because normally that's what happens. And I needed to make sure that I can't just issue a report. I needed to verify, is this contract do you know this the agreement? Indeed, I met with them to just understand, okay, what was it based on? Why were you doing that? During that meeting, it was just engagement. This is the contract. Now the investigator is the one who was writing notes during that meeting, because I was saying it's just engagement with them. You remember Tebogo Kekana, who testified. Now I was punished that I was not honest. I discussed the remedial action with SSA, whereas it's him who wrote those notes. I don't know why he was writing the notes that there's a danger of the Reserve Bank or something like that. And I think possibly he wrote that because the original Heath investigation, remember there was a proclamation which was issued. Heath never issued a report, and he said this will have a run on the rand. And remember, state security, there is an economic section. So the question is, but if they say this, what does this mean? Now it was like I discussed. So that judgment was wrong. If you go to the minority judgment, Mkhweba, it's, Mkhweba was so objective. He took all into account, went through our papers, their papers. And the question was, but if you say she's dishonest, how come she even disclosed everything in terms of Rule 53? Because they were saying, I am not honest, I was hiding the meeting. Now there were those notes that I never did anything. Then I was troubled with personal costs, remember, first time. And contrary to what Section 5 of the Public Protector Act is saying, that you have immunity from any civil litigation. But then that's when my problem started, because every litigant against the Public Protector report will then say, we want personal costs. It was now fashionable until one matter which we argued, or the Pravin Gordhan and the so-called rogue unit matter, where Judge Madlanga, I think Advocate Mpofu raised that it's like now it's fashionable to clobber the Public Protector with personal costs, who said, no, we can't grant that. Yeah.
You've been under huge pressure in terms of the cases that have been brought. More personal costs have now come out subsequent as you've left the office. I want to delve into that in a bit more detail, but before we get to Judge Punan's judgment, because I think let's put that to one side. You've said that you actually don't feel you have faith in the judiciary. You think that they've been biased against you. Why do you think that?
Start with Mlambo, JP. During the so-called state capture report, it said nothing in the Public Protector Act prevents the Public Protector to instruct any state institution on what to do. Remember, right, they were having issues with the violation of or usurping the powers of the president in terms of Section 84 of establishing a commission of inquiry.
Yeah.
And there were some matters which were referred to NPA or something like that. And indeed, the Public Protector Act is very clear that you can refer a matter to any other institution during the investigation or on completion of the investigation. I did the same thing with the CR17 matter, where I referred the certain parts of the investigation said to NPA and that, and even the rogue unit, the so-called rogue unit matter, I referred the other elements to the NPA because that matter was before court. Pillay, Richter and Van Logerenbeek were appearing before court, so I thought they will proceed with that. So then Lambo, there's a recording. History has no blank pages, where it says Madonsela was the Public Protector, nothing, the Public Protector Act. Then with me, no, you can't do that. That's firstly. Secondly is the issue of Judge Bakwa. Told me I said the issue of Friede, that I changed Madonsela's report. Then it became clear I never changed the report. And we presented all the information. I think it was defended by Ungalwane and another SC, I don't remember, it's a lady. Then come the Bakwa issue of the so-called drug unit, which he says, and taking what the defendants were saying, that I said I never saw the Inspector General's report. I'm saying that in my report. I never said that in my report. I was very clear. We met, we discussed the report. It was delivered anonymously in the office. And then that's another issue. The issue of the Concord